Well, hello there. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's not Boker Tov. It's good afternoon. It's Tuesday. That means, yep, it's Torah Tuesday. Cool. Love Torah Tuesday. Okay. Today, we were going to talk about Tu B'Shvat, but you know what? It's next Tuesday. We'll talk about that next Tuesday. Okay? Okay. So, we're going to talk about Parsha Bashalach. What is going on? All kinds of stuff is going on. But what I want to concentrate on is the Red Sea. Yep, remember in the story, Charlton Heston's with remember that big thing with that? Right, and Moses takes the staff and he did the thing and very dramatic, okay? Well, let's talk about this, okay? Now when Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by way of the land of the Philistines, although it was near, for God said, the people may see war and return to Egypt. So God led the people round about by way of the wilderness at the Sea of Reeds. Now the Israelites went up armed out of the land of Egypt. Moses took with him the bones of Joseph. They set out from Sukkot and encamped at Etham, at the edge of the wilderness. Adonai went before them in a pillar of a cloud by day to guide them along the way, and a pillar of fire by night to give them light, and they might travel day and night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart before the people. So what's going on here? Okay, well, instead of taking the direct route out of Egypt, Moses decides to trick the Egyptians, making them think that the children of Israel were just having a religious pilgrimage. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people were just going to camp out for a couple of days and do kumbaya things. Yeah, Pharaoh wasn't the brightest thing. So that was working until Pharaoh's advisors went, hey, I don't think they're coming back. I don't think they're coming back. Okay? So, some modern Bible scholars think that the Torah's pillar of cloud and pillar of fire are really memories of Solomon's temple. I don't think so. Or there may be a simpler explanation. When people move across dry land together in daytime, the dust rising up may look like a pillar of smoke. When they move by torchlight at night, the pillar of smoke may look like a pillar of fire. Well, okay. Or God was a big cloud during the day to lead them, and a big ball of fire so that they keep going at night. Who knows? Okay? Scientists have been working on this for ages. Is it really that important? No, it's not important to the story at all. You want it to be real? Great. Who cares? Okay? Now. We're at the Sea of Reeds. Okay? Adonai said to Moses, why do you cry out to me? Tell the Israelites to go forward. Lift up your rod and hold out your arm over the sea and split it, so that the Israelites may march into the sea on dry ground. I will stiffen the hearts of the Egyptians, so they go in after them. The angel of God now moved behind them, and the pillar of cloud shifted from in front of them and took up a place behind them, and came between the army of Egyptians and the army of Israel, all through the night. Then Moses held out his arm over the sea, and God drove back the sea with a strong east wind all the night. The waters were split, and the Israelites went into the sea on dry ground, the water forming a wall from them on the right and on their left. The Egyptians came and pursued after them in the sea, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and horsemen. Okay, so now what's going on? Well, this is that famous story, right? So Moses says, God, what do I do? He says, get your trusty rod out, your magic rod, right? The rod you've been using to mess with the magicians. Hold it out to the sea and say and put your arms out and I'll split the sea for you. I'll give you dry land so that the Israelites can go through. Okay? He does it. Hooray, it works. Okay. So what happens is all those people start going through, and Pharaoh and his army in their chariots and horses come on in, the Sea of Reeds, right? Well, it's interesting because people are lighter and travel faster. Scientists think, okay, that it could have been a swamp. It was low tide at a swamp. Just stay with here, okay? If it was low tide and it's a swamp, people can walk through or run through easier than chariots and horses. Why? Because they're lighter. Chariots and horses are heavier. So the Israelites go through, the Egyptians get stuck in the mud, and the tide comes back in and they drown. Okay, if you want to do it scientifically, but it really isn't a scientific story, so it doesn't matter, okay? What the story is telling us is that God leads them in there. He hardens Pharaoh's heart, tells them to go after him. They go after him, and when they're in the middle of this open, parted sea thing, the Red Sea, he closes the water back up, and of course they drown. Okay. Then, the other thing I want to bring up is the song at the sea. Okay? Then Moses and the Israelites sang this song to God. They chanted, I will sing to Adonai, for Adonai has triumphed gloriously. Horse and driver, God hurled into the sea. God is my strength and might. God the warrior, God is Lord's name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army, God cast into the sea. Who is like you, God, among the gods? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Does that remind you of something? I'll give you a break. That is the translation of Mi Chamocha. Yes, the prayer we do on Friday and Saturdays. Mi Chamocha, you know that one? Okay. That is what it is. Who is like you, Adonai, among the gods? Okay. Who is like you, Adonai, among the gods? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working in wonders? So if you ever wondered why we say the Mi Chamocha, this is it. Okay? This is where it comes from. Okay? And where are we? We're in Exodus. Okay? In Bashalach. And it's Exodus 13. Okay? Okay. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. So, we make it through, one more thing. We make it through the sea, and Miriam, Aaron's sister, takes out a timbrel in her hand, tambourine, and all the women went out after her and danced with the timbrels. And Miriam chanted for them, sing to Adonai, for God has triumphed gloriously. Horse and driver, God has hurled into the sea. If you ever get a chance, there's a Debbie, I can't remember her last name right now. That's really disturbing. She's a canner. Okay. But anyway, it's called Miriam's Song. Go into YouTube and look up Miriam's Song. It's really, really wonderful. Miriam is the first female hero, if you think about it, in the Torah. Because while all the men were being spastic and going, oh, the water's coming, what do I do? Miriam grabbed them, and the women grabbed them, and they brought them to the other side and saved them. Because otherwise the men would have stayed standing there while the water was rising, and they would have died because they're a bunch of dum-dums. Okay? So the women, with Miriam in charge, actually saved them. They get to the other side, and then they sang the song. Okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Next week we'll do Tu B'Shvat, which is the celebration of the trees, and you'll really like it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay? So, have a good week. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Leave me comments, leave me likes, whatever. All right? Until next week, next Torah Tuesday, have a good week. Peace.